So you've probably landed here from watching some of my other videos, maybe on social media or even on YouTube. And you're probably wondering who I am. So today I'm going to explain who I am, who I've been, and how I got here to me today. So back when I was younger, I made mistakes. On my first love, I cheated on her and I could not forgive myself. I made a massive mistake, something I never wanted to do, but a silly choice in a situation, ended up cheating, which is on me. I hold myself accountable for that. And then, so I turned to drugs, alcohol, anything that I could use to cope and make me feel better and push all my feelings aside. Because I hated myself for what I did and I couldn't see a way out. So I used coping mechanisms to be able to cope with being myself. So when I found out my daughter was born, I was at work, I got a text off her mum saying that she was pregnant. First thought, it wasn't, I'm going to be a dad, that's great. It was where I am now, I'm going to be no good as a dad. So I had to learn to change. I had to become better and be better for my daughter who was coming into the world. So I decided to start moving forward and bettering myself because I knew I didn't want to be one of these other deadbeat dads who did nothing for the kids and just walked out. That wasn't me. That's not how I was raised by my mum. My mum raised me for a while by herself as a single mum, juggling everything. Before my stepdad came into play, I just knew I couldn't be the type of person who could forgive himself for walking out on a child who needed me, especially my own child. So I decided to change. So I decided to work on getting rid of the drugs. And I started doing that. I kept on relapsing, and then I had the realisation that what was causing me was the situation I was putting myself in, the environments I was putting myself in, the people I was hanging around with. And it all led to me drinking alcohol. And that ended up being my trigger for wanting to do drugs. So after that realisation, I had to cut ties with people, remove myself in situations where I knew it'd be hard for me to control. So I was ruthless in what I did, cut people off, remove myself in situations, stop going out so I could stay sober for my child, my daughter. It wasn't easy, very hard, especially doing it alone because I didn't want to burden anyone with what I was going through. So at the time, I didn't want to, but I knew I wanted a group of people who understood, a group of dads who understood, which led me to where I am today of building a community for dads. But in the moment, I didn't want to burden any family because what I had to do was deal with it myself and prove to myself that I could do it and build my self-discipline and self-trust back up to be able to become the dad and person I wanted to be for my daughter. But in doing that, I realised the situation me and my daughter was in wasn't right for us and we couldn't carry on living like this. So for the first year, for a year, I kept gathering evidence to strengthen my case for going for full custody to be able to have my daughter live with me. So I gathered certain information on what was going on at her mum's when we were there, what's happening when I was not there, when I was at work, her family and friends telling me what had been going on in text messages, so I used the screenshots. It was a hard year because I had to become someone else again. I had to shut all my emotion down because I knew I didn't want to be there, but I knew deep down that I had to fight and I had to have a case to fight with and evidence to fight with to have any chance of getting full custody, because it's very unheard of that dads get not rewarded, get given primary custody of a child. But I knew that's what I wanted, but I knew that I had to have a good standing and something to go with to be able to achieve that. So I eventually had the evidence I needed. Her mum ended up cheating on me, which to me was a bit like karma. It killed, it hurt, but I knew I didn't want to be there anymore, so it made the decision easier leaving. So there was a couple of months where I didn't have custody, but I was still gathering evidence from messages and stuff and making my case stronger. So she lived with her mum for about 2 months before I decided to go for full custody. It was just a random Wednesday. Went to full custody, went to the solicitor's office, and then the ball started rolling extremely faster than I could ever imagine. Within 3 hours of being at the solicitor's office, I was in court for a prohibited steps order for my daughter to live with me while the court case was going on with no visitation. So I ended up going to court, it was about 4 months, spent 8 grand on solicitors. Don't regret that money at all. Best decision I ever made. I'd do it again, honestly. Nothing better than fighting for my own child because I wanted to be in her life and prove to her that I was the dad she could see in me and she'd grow up in a safe environment. So after that, got full custody in December. Just after her second birthday, COVID hit. So we were in lockdown. But I just switched jobs at this point. I was a chef, but I switched jobs for a warehouse job to be able to fit around my daughter and have the weekends off. But so during COVID, the factory I was working in, the warehouse work I was doing, meant I still could go to work, so she could still go to nursery. So it kept a very good routine. It did us both well, having that routine, but the weekends were especially hard, not being able to go out and do the stuff we wanted to. So we fast forward to now, and my daughter's now 8, my son's 2. I met a wonderful partner, Chloe. She's my everything. She was everything for Ava. She treats her like her own, loves her like her own. It's all I could ask for. And then our son is just a crazy toddler at the moment, as you can imagine, being 2. Ava calls him a terror, but the life I built now, I couldn't be happier, and I'm going to carry on building the life me, my kids and my partner Chloe deserve, because we want to move abroad, we want to live our life, we want to travel the world, we want the best for our kids. So I'm on a mission to build something to do that. But also I've built the Father's Brotherhood community, so a great place for dads to gather that I needed when I was at my lowest, and I think can help a lot of young, new and single dads, or even dads who are just stuck in it, so we can support each other in the situations we need and just have a support system that has no judgment. So if you like my story, or you like the videos I've been producing, follow along for more. There'll be videos out each week. At least 2 or 3 videos a week will be out. So if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.